Hello out there, YouTube. This is Charlie Barley with another video. This video, I'm going to be talking about the numbers game. Yeah, the numbers game. I've gotten a lot of recent activity in my email, people asking about the numbers game. Is it really as good as it's cracked up to be? I recently did an interview with one of my students who, during his first week, made about $4,000, 100% verified, verifiable guy. Someone that if you do decide to do this or get the numbers game, I could also hook you up with him if you want some additional help. A lot of people think, and I am very busy. And so, number one, but a lot of people sometimes think, if you hear it from another student, then, it's more believable, I guess. But anyway, so he has a couple things that he also does with the numbers game to make it more advantageous for him. But what I'm going to do is show you why the numbers game has such a high win percentage. Now, I'm not going to necessarily tell you how I came up with the numbers, but I'm going to show you how they actually work in terms of how to actually play it and why it has such a high rate of win. Number one, if you have all the numbers, you can verify what I'm about to do here. Okay, so you'll see here in what I've done. This is right here, it's a number of spins that I noted down from a game, and it's about 100 or so that I did this with. So it starts with 35, 24, 14, 28, so forth and so on. And as you can see here, I actually took these numbers 35, 24, 14, 28, and 21. All right, and if you look right here, under each number, you can see where the numbers kind of cascade underneath here as they go along. So the second spin would have been the first spin is 35, second spin is 24. Well, after 24, what number comes after that? 14, okay? So when you're playing the numbers game, there are 10 numbers that I've studied. Each number has a corresponding number of 10. Now, of course, you can make them more, you can make them less actually, but 10 happen to be like the most perfect number because it keeps you at just the right amount of progressions in terms of its ability to go above and beyond frequently. Okay. If you did more than 10, it gets to be kind of expensive. If you did less than 10, you can look forward to more progressions. So 10 tends to be the best number for this. So if you get the numbers game, you're gonna get 10 numbers that you'll play after each number. So for example, if 35 comes up, the next spin, you're gonna put 10 numbers that I'm gonna give you for the number 35, and you're going to put that on the roulette board. So for example, imagine it was a roulette board and I gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for number 35. You would put chips on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And in a minute, I'm going to show you actually how to do progressions with that. But what I want to show you really quick here is exactly where the numbers are hitting with the game. Now, right here, after 35, 24 came up next. 24 was actually one of the numbers that hit. So all of the ones that you see here in yellow, like these here, these are all wins. These reds, I'm going to talk to you about what these reds and these greens are and these blues. But for the most part, all of what you see here, except for this red, this green, everything that's pretty much highlighted, except for the red, is what has actually been hit. Okay, so that's where it hit. So in this case, when 21 hit, the numbers that came after that, you would have hit on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You would have hit on the 7th progression if you played it right after the 21. Like when 32 played, the spin right after that, 13 hit. 13 was one of the numbers, so you would have won on the first progression. After 13, it would have been 2 progressions, and you would have won on number 2. So you can see how that works. 13, the 2 more spins after that, 2. So you would have won here if you played after 13. 27, if you played after 27, it eventually won on the 7, which would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 progressions. All right, so let's talk about this blue one right here. So if you played after 4, the progressions went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Now I'm going to show you all the way down. You can see here that most of the wins are happening way up here in like the 1 through 5 progression area. All right. So it's really rare that you'll see ones that jump out like that. Let me see if we go down further. And again, if you have the numbers game, go and verify that I'm telling the truth. You know, if you have the numbers, you'll see that the 23 was one of the numbers. You'll know. So anyway, just go and verify it. If you want the numbers game, obviously send me an email. Permutationspro@gmail.com has a really high win percentage rate. All right. So, and as you can see here, we had another one that went kind of far out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this one went 10 progressions. This one went 9. That one went 9. Now, here's a couple ways. Let me see how far out. Yeah, nothing went beyond 11. I don't think so. And that was like in 100 or so consecutive spins. So you get to kind of get the point here. Again, if you have the numbers game, you can go verify this. Now let's talk about what this red is. Okay, so the reason I highlighted the red is because there's a sweet spot in the numbers game. It's generally between progressions. If you're wanting to be conservative playing the numbers game, considering that you can play the numbers game, you can literally monitor this every single number that comes up. Like, you don't have to wait for anything. You can literally play it as it comes. But what I want to bring to your attention is this sweet spot. The sweet spot generally starts between the 4th and maybe the 11th progression. So after the 4th progression is where you'd want to probably focus at. Here's a couple ways to play it. You can play it this way. It's probably the most conservative way to play it and probably the safest way to play it, but just one of the ways to play it. So let's say if you're looking at numbers, you're gonna disregard the stuff that you're winning between progressions 1 and 4. You're only concerned with, did the game beat you between progressions 1 and 4? So for example, if 32 came up, then you would have looked at your numbers and would have noticed that by the 4th progression, you would have lost. You know, of course, you didn't play it, but assuming you had have played it, you would have lost. Well, that's kind of what you want to look for. You want to look for, in this type of play, you want to look for the numbers that went beyond 4 progressions before you start betting. Why? Because if it goes beyond 4, you can do progressions up to, I don't know, 11, 12 if you have and I'll show you what that looks like in terms of finances and stuff in a second. But you can do progressions up to here and you can save, money on this. So look at this. So if you started here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So that's only 5 progressions compared to 9 that you would have had had you played the whole 32. Let's go. But at the same time, there are not a whole lot of numbers that are doing that. But here's the good news. The good news is that if you discipline yourself, if you see this, I'm going to show you here. Now, there are, again, you can see there where the reds are that, like, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Here's another red. When I say red, meaning 16, the number 16, it didn't win until the 9th progression, which is what you want. You want to look at the number and then, do like a virtual eye scan to make sure that you would have lost the first 4. Then you start betting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And of course, here you would have won on 10. Now, here is what's cool about this. Let me show you the progressions. Now, here is how probably Bill is making $4,000 a week doing this. All right, so you could see the progression chart starting with $1, and you could see where it says total bet. The total bet is 10 because there are 10 numbers that you're going to be putting your chips on. Okay, so again, if your number was say 16, then you would put your number. Of course, in this style of play, you would have waited until it went 4 progressions, then you would have started your play. So you would have only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 progressions. Okay. So let's look and see what that looks like in terms of progressions. In terms of progressions, 6 progressions, the quote unquote at risk would have been $130. The average, honestly, what the average pay here. So you're looking at about $25 on average in terms of this entire thing. But assuming you won on the 6 progression, you would have won $18. Now, here is how you can make a lot of money. Okay. All right. This is how you make a lot of money. And here is another reason why these numbers cost $25 a piece. And they may go up. Because if you look over the last 100 spins, consecutive spins, you can see that the lowest progression that was had was, I think, 11, and it hit right here on number 4. So assuming that you waited 1, 2, 3, 4 before you start betting, you only would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 progressions, and that would have been, you would have won on the 7th, and you would have made $32. Okay. Now imagine if you only did 2 numbers an hour. That's all you did. And you averaged $25 on average a win. That's $50 an hour. Okay. This is 100 straight spins, guys. I could continue to do this, but I can't show you. I'd be showing you. Well, actually, it'd take too long because actually I have to go and look at all the numbers. But my whole point is, and again, there are people with the numbers game, and you guys could go and verify this. Okay. All right. But you can see my whole point. If only you waited. The average game is about 60 spins. So let's assume that an hour mark stopped here at 60. All right, so you can see 60 is here. So this is where the hour mark stopped. Here are the number of opportunities you would have had to make money within this hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 times you would have had chances you would have had to actually make that up. Okay. So assuming that you're averaging $25 a win, you only really need to win 2. Now, here is why you don't want to try and do them all. Because it is possible for the game to go beyond 11. It's just very rare, which is why they say it's like a 98% win rate with this. Because even in the thousands of samples I've seen a couple cases and thousands of times where it went beyond 11, but I'm talking like 2 times out of like 3,000 different straight samples. So it's very rare. So the way you want to dodge that is not by is by simply not trying to play all the time. Okay. Have a small goal and then win and then quit. Come back later, small goal, win, quit. All right. So don't try to get into that, because the thing is, you're going to have to wait anyway. Now, last thing I'm going to say, oh, by the way, speak of, if you don't want to wait for this, now, if you wanted to just go throughout all the progressions, this was 11, and the cost for that would have been $740. So you can kind of get an idea of what you're looking for. I just think the best way to do it is just to wait until it's gone at least 4. You would have virtually lost to 4 before you start to bet. Okay, because in cases like this where it went green here, you would have won on the first progression, you would have won on the third here, you would have won on the second here, second there. Okay, and again, this entire hour there were 17 opportunities. So with 17 opportunities times, let's do some math here. 17. Let's just say you played it. That's $425 in that hour. Okay. So that's how amazing the numbers game is. But again, it's just that 2% that lingers out there. The best way to dodge that is just not staying on the game forever. Just win a few and get out of there. Okay, that's the way you do it. And so yeah. So with progressions, again, if you wanted to do the entire progression, 1 through 11, you could. I just think the best way to do it is just take advantage of the 17 different chances. I mean, the amount of money that you're going to win is pretty high. No, you don't cover the 0 because it's not about red. The only time you really cover zeros is when you're doing colors. or columns. That's the only time you want to cover zero. Other than that, if you're playing numbers, the zero is just another number, okay? And that's not a part of our equation. So disregard the zeros. So nonetheless, this is the numbers game. And if you're interested in the numbers game, again, very, very, very high win rate. And it's very easy to come by, and very yeah, pretty solid. And again, if you need some extra help, if I'm not working with my mentor students, I have a good one of my students, Bill, who did the interview, who's mentioned that he's also free to help any new and upcoming students understand it. I mean, it's pretty much as simple as I showed you, really. But there may be other things that Bill could help you with. By the way, he was a former, he still is. He's been working as a casino dealer for the last 25 years. So when you actually get a chance to meet him, talk to him about it. He's been a casino veteran for 25 years. So yeah, if you do decide to do that, you will not only, I'll give you the progression chart, and you can adjust this. Like if you wanted to start with $2, if you got the money, you could adjust this any way you want. You can see how when I changed it from 1 to 2, how the profit looked different, because you got to adjust it according to the kind of money you want to make. So, and also the kind of money you have. Considering that you're starting after the 4th progressions, most of them don't go beyond 11. You can kind of bank on 7 or 8, you know what I mean? And if you want to put a little extra cheese on the Whopper, as I always say, I say go for it. Now let's talk about, in the event that you went through your last progression, whatever that is. The cool thing about it is that because you make so much money on any individual win, and because anything beyond 11 is such a rare anomaly, you're likely going to win the next 100, okay, or the next however many. But my point is that you're probably about 10 wins away from breaking even. So even if you lose a set, like if you start at the 5th progression and you go through, I don't know, 9, if you have whatever your money is, you're looking at about 10 to 13, 14 games back before breaking even, if that should happen. And the reason why that's actually a good thing is because it doesn't take long to win. 10 again, you had 17 chances in an hour. If you lost one, you can not only win all 10 back, but 7 more than that. So that's kind of what you're looking at with this game. It's really, really powerful. How I came up with there's a few people, including Bill, who's always asking how I come up with the numbers. The only way I could tell you I came up with the numbers is just studying permutations. And for those who followed it, if you understand what permutations is and the limitations that the game has in terms of the 36 numbers, there is a pattern that the game has with colors and columns. Those same patterns are backed or built upon numbers. So whatever color is happening, there is a number attached to it. So what you want to do is you start looking at the pattern of numbers that happen over a huge amount of time, and the consistency of those said numbers. And then this is where this comes out. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, send me a email, permutationspro@gmail.com. If you're interested in the numbers game, it's $25 per number. Very high win rate. I would say is 100% win rate. It's just I haven't seen it go beyond 11. I mean, I've seen it go beyond 11 like twice, but that's in like 3,000 different straight spins. So that's just is nutty. And like I said, the way to evade that is just simply just don't try and play all day, every day. Last thing I'll say is you do want to get all the numbers. The reason why you want to get all the numbers is because you can analyze them. Let's just say, for example, if these were the numbers that came up that went 4 or more and you didn't have them, you're going to have to wait until your number comes up and you hope that it misses the first 4. And that might just run into your time. Time is money. So I'd say pay for the numbers up front, and then that way you have them all, and that way you can go through it. It doesn't take long to make a lot of money. Bill will tell you that. I think you can kind of see it. For those who do have the numbers, you can verify this whole chart and you'll see that I'm not lying to you. So it doesn't take long to make money. So if you do have the money to invest in this for yourself, I say do it. Also, in terms of a bankroll, I'd say whatever amount of progressions you're gonna go. So if you're only, if say for example, if you see the threshold generally is about 11, you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would say give yourself at least 8 progressions, 7, 8. So that means it needs to go 13 straight times before it gets you. So if you have 8 in there, let me just back this up and see what this looks like. All right, so 8 progressions, you're looking at about $270. Now, if you're serious about playing as a true champion, um, that was corny. If you're serious about playing seriously, what I recommend is having at least 6 times more than this. That because I look at it as a business. That way, you literally could leave your job if you did this. I lie to you not. But you know, a lot of people just don't believe that, and I wouldn't believe it if I didn't have the knowledge. You know, belief is based upon a lack of knowledge to me. So I don't have a lack of knowledge. I have complete knowledge of what I'm doing. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing interviews, because I don't want you to just hear me, okay? Because a lot of people get tired of me hearing me, and I get it. But you know, you need to know what you're talking about. You need to back it up. So nonetheless, guys, so again, if you have any questions, you want this, just send me an email, permutationspro@gmail.com, or you can go to permutationspro.com and call me at the 800 number that's listed on the website. By the way, the website is not updated, folks. There's a lot of old information there. I just really been focused on the mentor program. So I haven't had much time to at least get somebody in there, or even myself, to try and fix it or to update it. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, again, just give me a call or email. Thank you so much for your time. Until the next time, take care.